thanks everybody for coming tonight. It's a real privilege to be here with you all, and I just wanted to reiterate at the beginning of what I say the thanks that have already been said, but I wanted to say it myself, the thanks for everybody who's been part of the campaign over the last 2 years, really, to try to save our hospitals and save our NHS. And I know I can see them out there, some of the stalwarts that we've been thanking and talking about, who week in, week out, rain or sunshine, hail, whatever it has been, they have been out there and have been fighting to protect our local hospitals. So a big, big thank you to everybody who's fought that fight with us, and it goes on. It's certainly not over yet. There's a long way to go. I think it has become far more political, and I am actually speaking as the leader of Ealing Council, okay, the Labour leader of Ealing Council. There are some very arcane rules which lawyers will have been telling me that because there's no longer cross-party support for the Save Our Hospitals campaign in Ealing, there are certain rules which mean that we can't use council resources in order to promote the Save Our Hospitals campaign. However, the council policy, as passed by the Labour group at a full council earlier in the year, is that we condemn the spin, frankly, that was uttered by Jeremy Hunt when he made his announcement to close Hammersmith, to close Central Middlesex A&E, and to close the A&Es at Charing Cross and Ealing. And of course, he had the front to say that he was actually saving Ealing and Charing Cross A&Es. We all know that, frankly, that is a lie.
Liar!
It's a complete, huge, big lie. And since that announcement in the autumn, I've sat in meetings with various NHS bureaucrats, and I've said to them, what is the difference in terms of what's being proposed for Ealing and Charing Cross's A&Es as a result of the Health Secretary's announcement that they're now saved? And you know what they said? Surprise, surprise. They said, well, actually, there's no difference between what was planned under the original Shaping a Healthier Future proposals before Jeremy Hunt got up, and what is actually now proposed after he said he'd save them. Nothing has changed at all from the original plan to close the A&Es at Ealing and Charing Cross. So they will effectively be minor injury units. They are urgent care centres, and they don't take blue light ambulances, and they are not A&Es as we and the general public out there understand A&Es to be. And the problem, of course, with that, by saying that you've saved the A&Es but actually making them urgent care centres and not having blue light ambulances come to them, is that you actually confuse the public and you actually make it more dangerous.
Yes.
So the tragic incident where the mother thought that Chase Farm was still open and took a very sick boy to Chase Farm thinking that the A&E was still there, and then found that it wasn't, and there was the whole delay as this sick boy was transferred to another, and you know, incredibly sadly he died. And that is the confusion and danger, and I think downright irresponsibility of the Tories for saying that the A&Es at Ealing and Charing Cross are saved. The other thing you need to know is that we, myself as the leader of Ealing Council, and Andy Slaughter, the MP for Hammersmith and Fulham, and also Steve Pound, Ealing North MP, and Brenda Sharma, Ealing Southall MP, we requested and originally were granted a meeting with Jeremy Hunt. And then we started to get messages, no, we can't see you on this date. So we said, okay, well, what about another date? Can't see you on any other date.
Shame on him.
He has refused to meet us point blank,
Yes,
despite the massive changes that have been brought about by his government. And he is hiding behind clinicians and doctors when he is the person responsible, and he doesn't have the courage to stand in front of us as elected representatives of the people of West London and explain why he is doing what he is doing. I think it's a disgrace. I think we need to keep up the pressure on him. And actually, I think, as I said at the beginning of my remarks, this whole campaign has now become more political. Certainly in Ealing, the cross-party consensus, fragile as it was, because I think, frankly, the Tories didn't really believe what we were doing at all. They were paying lip service to our Save Our Hospitals campaign for cynical political purposes. And in fact, when we debated the Jeremy Hunt's announcement and the closure and everything, they suddenly revealed themselves as closet supporters of shaping a healthier future, and actually they didn't seem to be worried at all by the proposals, and in fact they've been complaining to me today about the publicity about this meeting and generally trying to oppose what we're doing. So I think it's pretty clear where the Tories are. I've never been in any doubt about it. And, you know, we've not only got the general election in 2015, we've also got the council elections coming up on the 22nd of May in literally 6 or 7 weeks' time. Not only here in Ealing, but right across London, in Hammersmith and Fulham. So you can send a message to the Tories in Hammersmith.
Please. And,
you know, my best wishes to you. I would enjoy nothing more than to see them get their
comeuppance. Them out.
But you need to know that the Tories have actually got a kind of wider agenda of cuts. It's not just the NHS, but you can see by what they've done with the NHS that that's the way other services are going to go. We've had to manage over the last 4 years £87 million of cuts to our budgets. That's the equivalent of 30% of what we call our controllable budget. Now, when you have a 30% cut in your budget, think about how you would manage that if that happened with your personal budget. Then you have to make some pretty serious decisions, and it gets very, very tough to continue to provide the services that you do. But again, I think you can draw some conclusions by comparing Ealing and Hammersmith. Labour Ealing, Tory Hammersmith. What's happened to the children's centres in Hammersmith? All been closed, virtually, decimated. In Ealing, we have not closed one children's centre. We've kept them all open. In terms of our libraries, we have not closed any of our libraries. We've managed to keep them all open. We've invested massively in our schools because we've had a 30% increase in our birth rate over the last 10 years in Ealing. We don't want porta cabins for our children. We want proper schools that are fit for purpose and give our children the best start in life. We've not cut our youth service, and generally, actually, out of that 87 million, only 30% of that has actually been service reductions. 70% of it has been through efficiencies,